Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
I'm thrilled to be back here with the Bellamy Brothers, Howard and David.
Hey, man.
Thanks for joining us on the show, guys.
Thank you.
Great to see you, man.
So you've got an album coming out, which, everything old is new again, with 40 years the vinyl. And this was recorded back in 2015, right?
Yeah, it was part of our 40 years collection that we did, but our distributor decided that they wanted to do some vinyl, so we took the greatest hits from it and made a vinyl album out of it. And it really did. I just listened to it a couple days ago when I finally got the actual vinyl. It sounds pretty warm.
The last we heard from record labels is there wasn't space for your records. So now they're getting bigger, but there's space now. I don't understand. But
from your early music, obviously from back in the 70s and 80s when we had everything on vinyl and you had the lyrics and you had the photos, and I thought maybe, especially with this, you've got more of an opportunity to do that again.
Yeah, well, I gave it the old album test. I read the back label and looked inside.
You had two incredible producers and another guy helping you out, right?
Yeah.
You and Howard did it.
Me and Howard and
two
me and
amazing
Howard
guys.
and our guitar player Randy. Yeah, we did it down at our studio.
That is so cool. In your own studio also.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done our recording in our studio in Florida since the early 90s, right?
Oh no, before then. We started, I think, with Redneck Girl was one of the first tracks we cut in that studio.
Yeah, that was a
We used to cut with the old truck, remember that?
Yeah, we did.
There was an outboard truck. We'd come down and run all the wires in. And
Jimmy Bowen was supposed to be producing it, but he came down to play golf, and he just left us there to do the recording. And of course, he took credit for.
Well, of course, he's on the album.
He would eat our mom's fried chicken and go play golf, and he'd come back and go, "Oh, that sounds pretty good, boys," and he'd go back and play golf.
That's a smart man.
Yeah.
And I was doing the math too, since you guys did the original. Of the album, of the 40 years done in 2015, we're kind of at 47 years, so if I'm not wrong, we're nearing 50 years.
We're getting there.
That's 50 years.
We're getting there, yeah. We got a few surprises for the 50th. If we live that long, if not, you can drag out the archives.
Well, we put up with each other this long. That's amazing in itself.
Well, you guys have so much fun. I mean, I keep up with both of you on social media, and you guys have been touring hard, and obviously you're going to have the Reboot tour kicking in, going to Europe this year as well. You got to be excited to get back to Europe.
Yeah, like next week. Yeah, I'm questioning myself because it's been 2 years, and that means I'm 2 years older. And 2 years at this point is like 10 years.
But you look great, Howard.
Well, thank you. I was fishing for that.
I'm telling the truth, though, but maybe it's because of all the TV work you guys are doing.
You should probably see me after this tour. I doubt you would say that.
Yeah, the Europe tour is set exactly as it was 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, we tried to do it again last year and thought we were going to get to do it again, but we couldn't.
Right.
And so now it's the same exact tour.
Now, this was after you had revived Blake Shelton's career also, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Wouldn't help Blake out.
Which I thought was
that
great.
was a chore in itself.
You guys look like you had a little bit of fun on that tour.
We
as well.
did.
Yeah, it was fun.
Really
It's
did.
always fun to be with Blake.
It was an abrupt stop thanks to COVID.
Yeah.
But we had fun up to that point.
Well, but thankfully the TV show has still been going too with Honky Tonk Ranch. It's in its 3rd season. You guys are already working on the 4th,
Right.
and it airs on Circle TV and airs internationally through streaming, right?
Right, that's right.
And you got a great executive producer.
Well, yeah.
Well, you're handling it, David. Somebody's got to be in charge.
Yeah. I'm telling you, when we're shooting that show, actually, pretty much nobody's in charge.
It's a free-for-all.
Is it sort of like the Bellamy Brothers as a band? It's like just mutiny or what?
Yeah, except you had wives and girlfriends and kids, and everything that can screw it up. So it's even worse than having a band. And the band is there as well. They do a lot of things in it. So.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is a lot of fun.
We edit around things.
You can fix it in post, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Always.
Well, you guys had your memoir come out back in 2018, and we were talking, Howard, to where it may be time to update this again. And you said you might have had like 1 or 2 stories.
Had a couple of stories
make
left
the
over.
cut.
Yep. We told some that I kind of regret telling. But
I don't know. I tell your Gallagher story all the time.
yeah.
Because I love the Sledgehamatic story.
Well, yeah, that's seems
You know,
like
when
yesterday.
you living with Gallagher.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the Sledgehamatic story was classic. There was actually several Gallagher stories because we lived with him in the basement at Jim Stafford's place for quite a while. So there was a lot of Gallagher. You know, I'm surprised there isn't a photo of us killing Gallagher at some point in time.
But you guys have such an amazing history, though. I mean, with the early songwriting, like you said, working with Jim Stafford, with Spiders and Snakes and everything, and then being able to launch your own band and it do so well. And what was amazing is you kind of started out in pop music with, you know, Let Your Love Flow, and then solid country. We were talking. You guys don't even know how many times you've played the Opry, but you mentioned Roy Acuff was here the first time.
I do remember the very first time Roy Acuff was here, and I remember he had a big ring of keys on his hip.
Yeah.
He had a key to every door in this place.
Yeah.
Because I
Amazing.
remember our roadie.
Well, we had this
Yeah.
roadie.
We had a rock and roll roadie comes to the Grand Ole
yeah.
Opry with us because we were
most
doing
country acts didn't have roadies in that
Yeah.
at that point in time, but
They're a
we
different
needed one because
breed.
we had our own production.
Ah.
So we had this kid we got from Molly Hatchet or somewhere, I don't know, you know, some old Southern rock band, and he we told him, we said, you know, go in and, you know, see if everything's all right in there, and you know, see if we can get things set up. And so we're looking for our dressing room and everything, and he comes back and he goes, well, I found one little guy back there, and he said he's going to come up and open the door for you. I think he's the janitor. I said,
Little did he know.
okay.
Yeah.
And so we're
The
sitting
janitor.
there, and all of a sudden Roy Acuff walks up.
And he did have a big ring of keys, and I can see how he could
And we both, I about fainted. I was, Mr. Acuff, I'm really sorry. He goes, oh, don't worry about it, boys. He
What
said,
about,
I am the
son?
janitor around here most of the time.
How amazing.
So that's
is
how
that?
we met Roy, yeah.
Wow, because so many of the big artists too, you guys met actually in Europe.
Yeah.
You know, touring like you mentioned with Boxcar Willie and,
Yeah.
and Brenda Lee and all these that you toured with.
Tammy Wynette, we toured with a whole lot.
Yeah,
And
us and Tammy did lots and lots.
To this day, she's
was a good-
probably our favorite female singer.
But you guys have such a huge fan base in Europe. Particularly, you're in the German Music Hall of Fame and also in the Florida Music Hall of Fame. But it's like, it's got to be incredible when you're playing over there and they know all of your songs. Like you used to joke about how they knew John Denver's songs,
Right.
but now they know the Bellamy Brothers songs,
Right.
and they're singing them back to you.
Yeah, it is amazing. And we were playing in India, and I never forget, we were playing in Mumbai, and it was the first show we'd ever done in India. And we started playing "Lovers Live Longer," and the crowd was singing so loud you couldn't hear the band.
Wow.
It was like a strange feeling.
Wow.
You know,
In India.
because we'd gone for years. People kept saying, "Oh, you guys should come to India." And, you know, we just one thing and another, and it's hard to tour there. It's to this day, it's hard to tour there, but we finally did it, and it was incredible. It was
Our
amazing.
songs weddings are a big deal in India. I mean, a big deal.
Yeah.
Very ceremonial, and there's about 5 of our more ballady type, melodic type songs that were wedding hits.
Wow.
Though
Yeah.
We had no idea.
You're
But,
right.
Beautiful Body
Beautiful Body
was
was a
what
wedding
they
hit.
call the first dance song.
Yeah. More of
And-
You was a
and
wedding
so
hit.
literally everybody in that country can sing that song.
Yeah.
It's like
How
strange.
incredible. And that was always like the pickup line,
Yeah,
you know, in bars.
yeah.
Never worked for me.
Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like, you know, you guys are going to be back on the tour. You've also toured in a lot of countries that other country acts haven't, like Dubai and everything, right?
Yeah.
Dubai, we're just invited to go back to Dubai recently, and we're just wondering if we could live through that because it's connecting to another world tour. But but yes, we've been to Dubai, and India. Dubai was we were really branching out to go there because we thought we had been everywhere until we went to those places. And India only like 3 or 4 years ago. I think
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, we were there again.
How amazing. You know, and you guys are also one of the most nominated ACM and CMA duos in history.
That's what they tell us.
That just means
I
we
just go
lost
by
a lot.
what I read.
A lot of awards.
But also in 1980, you won the most promising country act, which obviously that was true.
Well, it's still,
I can't
yeah,
even
we're
remember
still
that.
promising, but no, no
You guys
cigar,
are-
right?
You're still on tour. You got
Well
new
said.
vinyl.
Yeah.
We got new vinyl, yeah.
Well, it's so exciting. I know the
I
TV show.
never thought we'd have vinyl again because it was '89. Our last vinyl was '89.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think some of the songs, particularly the hits that you guys have, just sound so great on vinyl because you can just hear the full sound better. You know, after it went
Yeah.
compact disc, and digital, it seems like the sound kept compressing.
Yeah.
Did.
And I think people want the full experience, and also something about, like you were saying, David, holding the album in your hands and seeing the pictures and seeing the lyrics and seeing all the musicians that played on it.
Yeah.
It's more of an experience.
Yeah, it's a keepsake and you know, and an experience. You know, that's exactly what it is.
Let's just hope they don't bring back 8 tracks.
I do remember listening to those also.
That's
in a
the
certain
worst
place
format
when,
ever.
when the song would dip down and you wait for the song to come back up.
That was the worst format in the
Yeah.
world.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain Chicago songs still when I hear them, I wait for it to dip down.
Right.
From my dad's 8 tracks.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's exciting. You guys have 40 years the vinyl. It's out now. I'm sure you're going to have it with you on tour also, right?
Yes.
Well, if we have room, we have storage room on the bus as well.
And then
Where
the
we put these-
reboot tour has been rebooted.
It has, and so far we're ready to reboot.
And so you guys are going to be going back and forth between Europe and the U.S. and just everywhere.
Yeah, we're going to do June in Europe, come back and do the fall in the U.S., and then back to Europe in January.
Just headed towards the 50th anniversary and the updated book and another album.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan.
Howard's ready. Well, I tell you what, be sure and get the new vinyl. It's out 40 years, 20 hand-picked songs by the Bellamy Brothers. Catch them on tour also for Reboot, and catch out their show, Honky Tonk Ranch, which is on Circle TV, and you can find it on streaming as well. And once again, Howard, David Bellamy, thank you so much for coming on the Rock and Review.
Thanks,
man.
man.
Good to
Great to
see
see
you.
you again.
Good to see you.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.